Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance, and this is a 105 leFH18B2 French Tier 5 Premium SPG, and it's located on the north spawn of Serene Coast. Now it's being commanded by Kohlo, and I know he has a very good battle, and we can see he's got a mark of excellence on his barrel already, so he's a pretty good player. And he's turning, so he's just moving, reversing back. I think he's probably gonna, yep, he's gonna move away from here. Now, the 105 leFH18B2, only 16 of them made by the Germans. They used a French Char B1 tank, mounted a field howitzer. That's what the leFH stands for. It's a light field howitzer. 10.5 centimeter gun. But it was a very useful gun, a very popular gun. And he's into the bushes. Okay, and he's ready to shoot. And he's extended his aim. Using the overhead view. Looking for a target. Nothing yet. Oh, now a T-28 has appeared in the place where the mediums normally go. Heavies go down the peninsula, mediums normally go to the west side of the battlefield. Okay, he's trying to get a solution and dial in on that T-28, but he's driving all over the place. He's being very good at actually avoiding Arty shells. If you do that, if you keep moving, keep changing position, it makes it very difficult for Arty to tie you down. But we can do shots like that. And that Type 95, that was a clutch shot, wasn't fully dialed in, but he managed to hit it and track it. And the great thing about the Fifi, or Fifi La Pew Pew as we call the 105 leFH18B2, is that it's got a very fast fire rate and it's very quick to dial in its aim. Right, T-34 at the pass, being faced by an Excelsior. Kohlo fires. Direct hit, wipes him out. Huge hit, 127 hit points. And that T-34 is no more. Round out on DW2. Another kill. 90 hit points this time. That's 2 kills he's got so far. And that Type 95 hasn't learned his lesson. And he has now, because he's been wiped out as well. That's 3 kills in a matter of a few seconds. And another 197 hit points added to the total. Kohlo is a good player. I did say at the start, that mark on his barrel shows that he knows how to handle this Arty. Oh, he's got an Electo there fighting that Type 95. Now, there's very little splash from the Fifi. And that Electo was wiped out without damaging his teammate, the Type 95, who was nearby. And this Strodny 39, well, he was lucky that that shell fell short. But he's backing away anyway because he knows he's in danger. And there's a looks. And he's been tracked. He was tracked by the Type 95 and now he's wiped out. That's the 5th kill that Kohlo's got so far. My God, he's going for it. And that's a 6th kill. That's a Top Gun. 255 hit points. Strodny 39 is gone. It's the medium 39 it was. T-28E F30 with a big gun. The huge gun. Getting him up for another shot. Round out. Oh, he hits him. He gets the high caliber off that one. If he can maintain this fire rate. Rounds out on the T-30. Oh, he hit him again. 128 this time. And I think he's tracked him, which means that this next shot could be fatal. Yes, it is! 42 hit points, that's 7 kills. One more and he gets the Radley Walters. I think he's going to go for that G1R. Oh, he didn't carry him on moving. He anticipated it would turn around the corner, but he's killed before he can shoot again. My God, he's destroyed nearly half the enemy team in only a few minutes. This game's only been going 4 minutes, and he's already killed half the enemy team alone. Well, not completely alone, because of course his teammates have helped him a great deal. They whittled down the health of some of those enemy. But it's now 10 versus 8, so they've got 2 up, and that shell's going to hit the rock. It does. I could tell that because the aim point, or the point at which it hits the ground, was actually on the rock, not on the ground. Okay, we've got a T-67 being cheeky out in the peninsula. He's playing with an Excelsior. He's full health, that T-67. And he fired a clutch shot there. It didn't really work. But I think he can probably line up a shot now on that T-67. He's going to be reluctant to pull forward. Oh, that landed just in front of him. Can we dial in another one? I hope so. No, not in time to save the Excelsior. And that shot will be wasted as well. Now, that T-67 is going to be a nuisance. He's crossing the water now. Kohlo's trying to line up a shot on him, but the closer he gets, the more difficult it is to get a solution on them because the ground gets in the way. You're trying to aim and fire a shot which is very shallow. And when it's very shallow, any obstructions of the ground, ridge lines, that sort of thing, can interrupt the shell flight to the target. Now, he's gone to manual view because he's expecting that T-67 to head this way, and he is coming this way. He's locked on to auto aim, waiting for that T-67 to come into view. The moment he does, he will shoot him. And he does! 360 hit points. That brings up the Radley Walters. It's a one-shot kill for Kohlo, but he needs to move now because he was seen and there are still enemy out there. Okay, KV-1 hiding behind the rock. And that's a direct hit there, 144 hit points. Don't know where it hit on the KV-1, but he certainly did a lot of damage, and that one landed on the ground nearby the KV-1. He can't see it at the moment. He needs his team to get eyes on the target. It's so important to do that. I think that Largo's poking through the gap on one side, and the Strodny 39's going around the other side, so we should see the KV-1. There he is. Okay, he's been spotted. Round out. And that splash is nearby, but I think it's tracked him. He got a critical hit. I think it was a track. Round out again. No, that's going to fall short. It did. Okay, the KV-1's intent on killing that Largo. We've lost sight of the KV-1 again because the Largo pulled back. There's the Matilda. Round out. And that's a kill shot. 74 hit points, and I'm afraid the KV-1 managed to kill the Largo. He's going through the pass though, very slowly. I think his engine's damaged. I'm pretty sure that one of Kohlo's shots damaged the engine or killed the driver, and he hasn't been able to get the driver back into play or fix the engine. And that's why he's so slow. Right, now Kohlo has only got one teammate left. And that's the M3 Lee, and he's going through the dip right now on the west side of the battlefield. He's going to have to spot this KV-1 and this Su-76 GFT. Now the Su-76 is going to be the bigger problem. And to cut down the flight time of the shell, Kohlo's started to move towards the enemy cap. And that's a wise choice as well. He's got a good view range, 390 meters. He should be able to spot the enemy before they can spot him. That extra view range actually comes about because it's a very tall gun in a very high superstructure on top of a heavy tank. And the fact that it is built on a heavy tank also means that it's very strong against enemy shells fired at it. The tracks can absorb shots and block shells into the tank. Okay, he's trying to get a bit closer. I think he thinks that the enemy tanks are going to come up through the little village and head this way to the cap. So he's repositioning himself to get A, get closer to the enemy, and B, to intercept them if they do come this way. And seeing as he's got a 10.5 centimeter howitzer, he can do a lot of damage to the enemy. Well, he's making an unusual choice here to go across the bridge, which is a bit dangerous just in case the enemy spots you, but I think he may have sixth sense, in which case he would know the moment he's been spotted by his sixth sense going off. Right, he's coming down here on the lake side. It is very dangerous actually, because if the enemy is concealed and they see him, he's only going to have a few seconds to react, to get into cover, and I'm afraid the Fifi is a very slow moving tank. It's a very slow moving SPG. But he is doing what I would do under these circumstances. You need to get mobile, you need to get closer to the target because you want to cut down on flight time of the shells. It gives you more immediate action on the enemy. If you see them, spot them, you can shoot them. It does make you more vulnerable, but it's much by far the better tactic. It seems to me that the enemy is camping their cap, sure that their cap's about to get overrun, and that's why it's necessary to go down there. It's one of the few caps as well where the cap is virtually enclosed on 3 sides and only open really from the west. Now the M3 is holding back. He's not going to move forward just in case that tank driver's tank destroyer is watching. But if that tank destroyer is sitting in one of the passes, he's going to be very vulnerable to suddenly being surprised with a 10.5 centimeter shell in his rear. And Kohlo's going in through one of the passes at the back. Right, oh, the enemy's capping. Now, that's unusual. They did make their way forward. They must have gone through the village, and when Kohlo went over the bridge onto the peninsula, they were going up through the middle, and that means that one of the enemy is in the cap right now, and I suspect that's the KV-1. But we'll find out if one of the enemy turns up at this cap. The M3 have gone into the cap. Now he's in the cap, and Kohlo's joining him. Now Kohlo can fire on his own cap. One of the good things is that the cap at the other end is vulnerable. The cap at this end is not quite vulnerable completely, because there is a place you can hide from Arty fire underneath the rock face. But he's got to now try and find where the enemy is. They can cap out before the enemy at the other end, but he might as well try and fire a few shots in. Oh, he got a reset! He must have hit the enemy. And the enemy... Or did the enemy pull out of the cap temporarily? Well, they're going to win. They're going to cap out. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. They've done it! They've capped out. They've won. It's a pity that they didn't claim those last 2 kills, but, well, they did it. They got the victory they needed. And that was a win 8 of at least 6-1-8-5. So it was a very good game by Kohlo. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. It's an ace tanker for Kohlo in the 105 leFH18B2. He also picked up a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 20 in that one. He got 4 critical hits from the Strodny Viz-39 when he took that one out, and 4 from the T67 when he took him out shotgun. Oh, and best of all, he picked up a Radley Walters. He killed at least 8 of the enemy. In fact, he killed 9 of the enemy in this battle. When he took out that Matilda, that brought up the 9 kills. If he just got 1 more, it would have been a Pools medal. And they happen so rarely for Arty, but it's certainly very nice to get a Radley's. He also picked up a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the battle, and a Top Gun for killing at least 6 of the enemy. And we can see them all listed here. Very good battle. Let's have a look at the team scores. Well, he dealt damage of 1,946 hit points, got highest there. He also got the highest number of kills with 9, and he got the highest base XP of 1,044 experience points. And he fired 31 rounds, got 13 direct hits, 13 penetration, and 6 splash. He did damage of 1,946, of which 1,586 were at more than 300 meters. Obviously, the one that was very close was the T67, who was right in your face, 360 hit points. He received 1 hit from the T67, 1 penetration. He also damaged 10 of the enemy, so 2/3 of the enemy team, and he killed 9 of the enemy, 3/5 of the enemy team. He also managed to stop, or managed to get 48 capture points when he was capping. So he didn't actually get a reset when he fired at the other cap. The enemy left their own cap, or left the other cap, and then moved back in when they realized there was no point. They weren't going to be able to win. They must have thought about driving all the way back, but then thought, well, they're not going to make it in time. So Kohlo received 45,546 credits. And after repair and ammunition resupply, he still had 37,178 credits on a premium account. He received 1,566 XP, but it was times 2 for the first victory of the day, and he gets bonus because Fifi is a premium vehicle, so he got an extra 626, bringing his total to 3,758 experience points in total. So he actually titled this replay, P stands for propelled, they said. Well, yes it does, we do move about. Most people think Arty just sits at the back and does absolutely nothing, but I can promise you there have been many games where I am very mobile. I move about, I sometimes actually take out enemy on the move with a shotgun, and it does happen. Sometimes we stay at the back and we just shoot from the back, but sometimes we actually go mobile and we win. Now I'd like to say thank you to Kohlo for submitting this replay to What Replays, because it's actually a good illustration of how we do move, but it's also an illustration of how effective the Fifi is, because in 4 minutes of the battle he actually had his Top Gun, and he devastated and killed half of the enemy team in just 4 minutes of battle. It shows how effective the Arty can be and how important we can be to your team. So if you enjoyed this replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in my next video.